Hi everyone, my name is Erica. Reading Mai Tai's speech, it was really clear who she was addressing, that she was addressing her audience and the people who supported her. She referenced them multiple times throughout the speech and called on them in the end with a call to action. It was also very clear that she was immensely inspired by the women that she met living in rural Kenya, for whom she wanted to help provide a sustainable lifestyle similar to the one that she had experienced as a child before deforestation and other environmental degradation had taken place on a large scale in Kenya. My definition of sustainable, I think, is a little bit less abstract than the definition that Mai Tai alluded to in the speech. When I think of sustainable, I think of something that is self-sufficient, something that can be built, maintained, and continue to work without the use of non-renewable resources such as oil and coal. Mai Tai's perspective on sustainability differs from mine because of her experiences. She grew up in rural Kenya when she said that the environment was relatively untouched. I think that my idea of sustainable is applicable to hers, but in a different way. When I think of sustainability, I think of self-sufficiency. She does too, but more in terms of Kenyan families being self-sufficient and working in sync with nature to take care of their families' needs for water, food, shelter, etc., in a way that does not harm the environment and actually helps to conserve and promote a healthy ecosystem. The planting of trees was an example of this. In planting trees, not only was she literally planting a tree, which would of course be self-sufficient, but the tree was also giving back to the environment in the form of better water and air quality, more biodiversity, and shelters for critters. I really believe that our experiences shape our own perspectives on this and many issues. I think that my perspective and views on sustainability come from having grown up in coal country, rural southwestern Pennsylvania, where we literally have a festival every year to celebrate coal. As different as our experiences may be, Mai Tai and I do actually have some common ground in that we both have visited the city of Pittsburgh, which has a very unique environmental history. Most of us are probably aware that Pittsburgh and many other communities across western Pennsylvania were built up around and thrived in the steel industry, including the coke and coal industries. While these industries allow many communities in western Pennsylvania to grow economically, with decent paying jobs, small businesses, and cute little neighborhoods built to house the workers in these industries, the environment suffered. Pittsburgh was famous for its smog and horrible air quality up until air quality controls and measures were passed, from which point on it was becoming the beautiful city that we know today. I think that this could have had a significant influence on Mai Tai's perspective. She was able to see an example of a city that was literally black with smog and dirt, heavy with industrialism and profits, turn around to be a beautiful, vibrant city with some of the best air quality in the country. This is a similar, although not nearly as complex, example of the kind of process that Mai Tai is speaking about in her speech. Even though the environment has been destroyed to the point where families were having a difficult time sustaining themselves, it's not too late to turn that around and start planting seeds so that in the future the environment will not, so in the future people won't cause so much harm for the environment and people can work in sync with the environment to sustain each other.